What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for 86. This is episode 16, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
hmm Yeah, so this is one of the more action-packed heavy episodes we've seen in a while since was it the second core of '86 started. So
Mhm.
the episode really starts out right off the bat with the Legion just attacking pretty much in all fronts. Like they pretty much they're attacking the Confederacy, they're attacking the Republic, and I think they're attacking one other location. I can't remember what it was, but um, of course, every single front is just pretty much being decimated by the huge, vast amount of number of Legion units just attacking everywhere.
Yeah, and we heard about this in the last episode that there was going to be this large-scale attack by the Legion.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't think it was going to be this enormous, but yeah, we see the impact of how devastating the attack is against, well, pretty much on all fronts. But mostly for the first half of this episode, we're focused on the front lines of Jihad, and of course the episode also starts off with Shin waking up with his teammates, and all of a sudden he just goes into a command center at gunpoint, just I guess alerting the base of sorts. I'm surprised that even he went the extra mile to actually do that.
I was a little bit confused by that. I was not sure if he was just kind of like pointing a gun to them so that they would let him participate in the battle or something, or if he I wasn't exactly sure what the point of that was.
I mean, you think someone would like that would get court-martialed for that, but he's apparently allowed to take himself and the rest of his squad into the front lines and start fending off the Legion forces there.
Yeah, and I mean, we pretty much see how effective the new spider mechs they have are, because they're just able to easily wipe out a lot of the Legion, as opposed to how it was in the beginning of the series, where they were having, I mean, Nozen never really, it really didn't, and I guess this is a little bit of a problem I have with the series, is it never really feels like, for the most part, that Shin is in much trouble. Like, he's pretty good at just not getting in a dire situation or not getting killed, while like a lot of the other characters, it was kind of fair game. Like, it felt like they didn't have a lot of plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you literally see their entire squadron just charging headlong into that enormous army of Legion.
Yeah, and now it's kind of like the polar opposite, where now they have these mechs that are pretty much completely wiping the floor with pretty much most of the Legion they're facing. I mean, that makes up for the majority of the episode too. Is just basically the 86 helping out with the Republic forces and helping them fight off the Legion. The interesting thing is, just Shin, I guess beginning to lose himself in the combat, where he just starts to sort of lose his mind, I guess.
Yeah.
And we see that, I guess, that Frederica has, like, I guess because, like, well, we know that she can see people's, or she can, like, read people's minds or something like that. But we're not exactly sure about all the specifics of her abilities. I guess she has, in a way, some kind of a psychic link or something to Shin, because she can just feel that he's, like, I guess, beginning to lose his mind or something. And we see her perspective, where she's starting to get worried about Shin, because he's, it sounds like, she's afraid, I guess, he might begin to become like is it Curie?
Kiria.
Yeah, and had maybe he might also become assimilated into the Legion. And I guess she also sees, I guess the mech that maybe that Kiria is in or something, and yeah, so. I wasn't aware that she could do all the things that she was kind of doing in this episode, where she could just sense all of these things. We know that she can, like, read people's minds, but we didn't really know exactly what else she could do with her abilities.
Yeah, it's been a mystery ever since we got introduced to her. I mean, I still want to learn more about Frederica. I mean,
Mhm.
other than that little exposition plot point that she revealed from the last episode, I just really wish we could know a little bit more about her and how her abilities work. Because
Yeah.
it kind of just threw it at us out of nowhere, with a little explanation of how she can do this kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, Shin manages to maintain his sanity, and they pretty much are able to fight off most of the Legion.
Yeah.
What's interesting too was at the very beginning of the episode as well with the is that we actually kind of like I don't know if we really got a lot of this in the beginning of the series because in the beginning of the series like I wasn't really aware that the Legion were like that they had like that much intelligence. I thought they were more like mindless machines or kind of like zombies in a way, but they're just in machines. I didn't really realize, I guess, that they functioned like, I mean, in this episode, it feels like they function more like an organized army because of how they're getting like commands to, they're going to assault all these different places. Because like I was under the impression they were more like I said, more like zombies or something, where they were just they didn't really have much reason for what they were doing. They just fought just to fight. They didn't really have much of a conscience, I guess, still, or they're more like
Well,
ghosts or
they
something. But
yeah,
um,
they're ghosts, but they still have like partial human intelligence, and more than likely they're programmed by some kind of higher intelligence within
I
the
just thought it
Legion.
was interesting how they still have like strategic, like they have an actual strategy, I guess, and they're not just randomly like attacking places. Because I was under the assumption they were more like just randomly attacking these places, and there was no real strategy to it. But like
Yeah,
hearing that, I guess they're getting commands or something to go out and like destroy these places. I
yeah,
think is kind of interesting.
and now we're witnessing like the biggest offensive by the Legion, just essentially just attacking and decimating in all fronts at this point.
I guess it's kind of like I guess you could compare it to like Skynet or something from Terminator, where it's just like they have a strategy for what they're doing,
Hmm.
and there's some kind of maybe there's some kind of like central brain or processing unit that's responsible for everything or for controlling them or something. We still don't entirely or not entirely sure how the Legion works. So I mean, I'm kind of hoping we learn more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious of like how where they're getting built from, or where their central
Well,
intelligence
like
is.
we know
But
that
I'm not
the
really
people
sure
that
if
I
we're.
guess have passed on that have died have become assimilated into the Legion, I guess.
Mhm.
But we don't really know too much else more than that.
Yeah. But yeah, so we do move on to the second half of the episode where we finally get back into Lena's storyline, but we do get to see some of the members of the 86th under her command pretty much already decimated at this point, and of course, we see one of them uh, giving a speech saying that they fought all they could, and pretty much the Republic end up deserving. Uh, getting beaten down by the Legion for what they did to the 86.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we finally get back to seeing Melise's side of things.
Yeah. Well, she, of course, she suddenly just gets a news report revealing that the Legion has already attacked one of their districts nearby, and she takes it upon herself to get back into the command center to try to warn the 86 to get back into the fight and fend them off. However, her uncle, which is the general, tries to stop her from going back, reminding her that the 86 have, well, in his perspective, have no reason to fight for the Republic, due to what they've done to them over the years.
I mean, I felt like he actually made some compelling arguments about why, the 86 would not really want to listen or cooperate with her, due to the oppression they faced.
Hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. I guess from Elise's perspective, I mean, she's more, I guess, generally optimistic about it that they'll listen to her, I suppose. She does seem fairly naive with her point of view. I mean, I don't know. It seemed just more so like, I mean, it's like, it seems like her uncle doesn't entirely disagree with what she's doing, but it's more so that he thinks it's pointless, I guess, and that it's just going to eventually like blow up in her face. So he's more so like he allows her to do what she wants to do, but just so that, I guess because he's under the assumption it's not going to work, and I guess it's just going to eventually fail. So he just lets her, I guess, learn those things the hard way, I suppose, instead of like trying to stop her.
Now, I'm still curious of what her relationship with the current members of the 86 are, because we don't really know much about them other than like maybe one or two of the characters. I think, well, other than Cyclops, who's like basically the only significant 86 member that we've seen since the start of the season. But we just don't know much about them at this point, nor like what they really think about Lena and whether or not they can really trust her compared to, the previous 86 led by Shin at the time.
She does go by some new nickname, like what was it, like the bloody Regina or something like that. I don't know, but I guess that's why she has that red streak in her hair. So I mean, I'm kind of hoping we maybe learn a little bit about that too, because I mean we don't really know the reasoning for why she's like going by that now. So I just feel like there's a lot of stuff maybe in one episode we'll get filled in on like why she kind of, first of all, why she's referred to by that, and also just her general relationship with the new members of the 86, because that's something we really still don't have a good idea about.
But yeah, so the episode does end off on a cliffhanger with Lena preparing the 86 members to fend off the Legion heading their way, and plus there is a post-credit scene at the end in which Frederica talks to the members of Shin's group about the Legion, and of course Kiria being a part of the Legion. But then all of a sudden, I think, what was it? Frederica and Shin end up having this mental contact by Kiria saying that he's going to kill them, and then the episode just cuts off before something happens. So we're gonna assume Kiria is launching an attack on them out of nowhere, but we'll have to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if this is gonna play out like the fight between Shin and his brother.
I mean, it's just the overall plot point is more or less similar. Like I said last week, it's instead of like Shin going up against his brother, we have Shin going up against like someone close to someone else in a similar fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this was a decent episode. I liked that it was more action heavy as opposed to just more dialogue. But at the same time, like I kind of hope we get the tension that we had in the beginning of the series back, where you're not sure like who's gonna live and who's gonna die, because really right now with the kind of equipment they're using, like with these mechs they have, it's like you're pretty sure most of them are probably gonna live, but maybe like in the next episode they'll turn the tables on them or somehow, because like in this episode we pretty much just see like I said, we just see them completely wiping the floor with the Legion they're fighting, and there's not really, it just doesn't really feel like there's much of a threat that they're going to be killed or something seriously bad is going to happen to one of them, just because of how effective these mechs are.
Shin does mention in this episode that the current wave that they were fighting is the first advanced wave, meaning that they managed to fend off them, but the second wave is still on their way. So, yeah, we'll have to wonder where the next stage of this battle is going to be. But honestly, I don't know what the next episode's going to be about. Whether if it's going to finally get us back to Lena's perspective, or if it's going to bring us back to Shin and the rest of his group.
I think it might be similar to this episode, where they spend a certain portion of the episode focusing on Shin and maybe some other the remainder of the episode focuses on Lena and the new 86 Squadron. Because like we also know that this is an attack that's going to be happening on multiple fronts, so I think it would make sense if they focus on different characters all at the same time.
Yeah, but these last like 3 to 4 episodes have mainly focused on Shin and his group. So you would think it'd be a little bit more productive if they focused an entire episode with Lena and the new members of the 86, because I really felt like that it should put more attention on them for once, because if like I said, like the whole formula of jumping from like half the episode for Shin's group and the other half for Lena's group just doesn't give us enough time, to process everything that's going on with either group. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm hoping that the next episode will just mainly focus on Lena, but I'm not really sure based on where they're gonna take this formula.
Yeah, I mean I would have to agree. I think I would prefer if they maybe had more focus on her, considering we really haven't gotten that much of it in these last few episodes, and I really feel like we need to have, like you said, more development with her and the other characters. That, I mean, we really haven't gotten hardly any screen time with any of the new members or the new 86, so we really know next to nothing about them. So I feel like we should probably have an episode where we just learn more about these characters. But yeah, I really don't know. I think the next episode is going to be pretty interesting, considering it seems like there's going to be a fight. There's probably going to be at least a pretty big portion of it, I'm assuming, might focus on some kind of a fight between Kiriya and Shin, considering the cliffhanger this episode leaves off on. But then I also kind of hope that, like I said, we get more focus on Lena and those other characters as well. I feel like this is maybe leading up to some kind of a possible potential reunion between her and Shin's group, but I mean, in what way, I'm not exactly sure. Because I mean, if the opening at least is anything to go by, maybe this like massive battle might lead to that. So then we won't have, then at least we wouldn't have so much of a problem with the episode like switching perspectives to either Lena's perspective or Shin's perspective. I mean, it would be a little bit more balanced. But as it is right now, it's like, it's just kind of like between, the what's happening with these two characters, we kind of just have to switch between the two at times.
Yeah. I have to wonder do you know how many episodes this core is going to have? Because
it might be around the same as the last core, possibly, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't. They might have posted the episode count up yet. I haven't actually checked.
I'll probably take a look at it, but
yeah.
it just seems like right now they're already headed towards like some kind of finale storyline at this point.
And I mean, we're not. I guess unless they're going for like maybe to like 22 episodes, I guess that might make sense if they're getting to that point. But it feels a little bit too early for them to be going that direction.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope not. But I mean, who knows? But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about the episode itself. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Well, I think it was one of the best episodes we've seen since the new season came back. I just wish, we could get. I mean, what I'm hoping for the next episode is we get an episode mostly focused on Lena and the group, because we like I said, like we've mostly had 3-4 episodes mainly focused on Shin's group the entire time, and we know little next to nothing about the new 86 members. I mean, we saw only a few of them, but we already see them taking casualties up to this point.
Yeah, but that all being said, until next Saturday, we will see you all next time.